Anthony, George Foreman, after the Rumble in the Jungle, said that having lost the world heavyweight title, he felt he'd lost something as a man. How did losing the title affect you?
Great question. Great question. It didn't feel like I lost something as a man. I'd say it felt like I needed to add something. So I still felt the same person I was, hence the no complaints. I wasn't crying over spilt milk, but I just felt like I needed to add more to the cup. The blessing is that I got a second chance to do it, and here we are.
And what changes have you made here in training, but in terms of your lifestyle outside, your mindset, right across the piece?
Well, I used to kind of put a lot of my stuff out there, but I try and be a bit more reserved now, especially with the information that I've learned and gained from some of the great fighters. I feel like the information is always out there in front of you, but humans tend to have like a mechanism like where we doubt some of our thoughts. But I've just trusted in myself, trusted in the team. We have debates, we have talks. I don't have yes men around me. No, yeah, we try it. And that's the great thing I would say about this training camp, is that as soon as I got back to England, I got back in Finch and I started training. So a lot of the things I wanted to try and try out, I was doing months back. So it wasn't like, 8-week training camp, 12-week training camp. I was training way before I came up to Sheffield. So a lot of the trial and errors and things I wanted to put into training camp, I'd already done. So that was a real blessing.
And in terms of what you do in training, what's changed there?
In terms of what I do in training, okay, so I feel like if you train twice a day, 250s make up 100%. So 50-50 will make you part-time one thing, part-time another. 100% makes you full-time. So it's just dedicating a bit more time to boxing, you know, because fighters normally run in the morning, box in the evening. So it's just like asking if the coach if we could just do more boxing and stuff like that. I had that urge to be in a boxing gym. A lot of fighters go through a stage in their career where the trainer's dragging them in the gym, have to turn up to their house, knock on their door, are you sleeping? I'm tired, get your ass in the gym, you're not tired. That type of mentality. But when you've got a fighter that wants to be in the gym 3 times a day, 2 times a day, I think it has to click in the trainer's head to say, we've got this fighter where we want him. And that's what I feel at the minute. I just want to be in a boxing gym as much as possible. And that obviously then excels passion, skill, the ability to learn. So rather than wasting that energy elsewhere, I've put it all into my boxing.
Was there, when you looked back, one significant factor that you could say was the reason you lost?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that to do with you or somebody else in the camp?
Me. Nothing like partying or anything like that.
Complacency?
No. I've never been complacent. I did lose, and I, you know, upset about that. But it is what it is, isn't it? So it wasn't complacency. When I say that, it's more to the point of, when I say I lost, it was more to the point of, it happens. It happened to me. So I have to take it, but it wasn't complacency. But the issues I had are fixed, and I may drop it on my YouTube channel one day. But these are the stuff this is what makes a journey interesting. Do you know what I mean? These type of things that happen. Like a training camp is never smooth. Hence why I learned, prepare before I get into training camp, because during your 12-week or 8-week preparation, you might get a niggle in your knee, niggle in your back, you got to take a week out. Puts pressure on the training preparation. I have no pressure in this camp. I could take 5 days off and come back still fresh. Do you know what I mean? Because I've lived a life. But these are all experiences I've gone through. But the issues I faced last training camp, when you're asking me, is just down to lack of experience. Even though we was at a high level, we were still quite inexperienced because of how fast we had come through the heavyweight division.
So was it burnout?
No, not burnout. Not so much burnout. No, not burnout. I love this. I spar 15 rounds, 12 rounds.
But you can love it too much?
That's a good question. Yeah, sometimes people are like, oh man, you need to chill out or go away after this fight. I don't really say anything because I'm thinking I'm getting straight back in the gym. Do you know, this is my life. This is all I want to do. So yeah, maybe, potentially, but not burn out in a bad way. As I said, you've got a fighter that's passionate to the game, that wants to stay in the gym, so it's definitely not a bad thing. It would be the worst thing for a trainer who has a fighter that wants to be in the gym to try and get him out and say, get out of the gym. There's other ways to train this. That's what I mean. There's so many different ways to train rather than just hitting the pads or hitting the heavy bag. You can work on your head movement, your coordination, footwork. So it's just putting all this into the mix and making the perfect ingredients.
The last time we were here in Sheffield in this situation was before the Ruiz fight, and it was on the day that Ruiz had been confirmed as the opponent.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks since Jarrell Miller had been thrown out.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the theory that you lost the fight in those 2 weeks, in terms of switching off and not fully switching back on?
No, look, Ruiz beat me, fair and square. Ruiz beat me, but hindsight's a great thing. When you look back, it's always like, oh, if I would have done that, if I would have done this. But Ruiz beat me, and that's it. That's it.
How much pressure did you feel from the outside to part company with Robert McCracken?
For me personally, I hear it, and I'm just looking at these people like, wow. I feel like where we come from, loyalty is everything. You know, like my ties are still in Watford, my ties are still with Finchley, my ties are still with my boys in London, still with the same management company. I don't know what anyone else believes, but for me, when you come chat to me, you better know what loyalty is and what it stands for. You know, I'm not perfect, Rob's not perfect, but we're definitely trying. I even said it after the Klitschko, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. And it applies to everyone, and that's why we have to give people chances. And that's why even my loss, yeah, I lost, I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna try again. You know, so that's the same thing with me. If I have the attitude to kind of change Rob, this is me personally, then I might as well have the attitude to stop boxing after I lost. Because after one slip up, I can't now change the makeup of who I am.
But I remember Freddie Roach telling me about his relationship with Manny Pacquiao. It started out as pretty much master and pupil, and by the end it was much more 50-50. Has your relationship with Rob changed?
Massively. It has to be. The athlete has to become the teacher. He's the one going through it. He has to trust his instinct. He's the one going for the kill. Put myself in a training position and I'm training a bunch of lads. I have to listen to these kids. I have to. They're the ones on the field with the instinct. I just have the creative mind. But they're the ones that are doing the hard yards. So yeah, definitely. But as you said, you start off as a complete novice. But then the one that has a spark, who wants to stay in the gym. Even when I leave the gym, people think, as I said, that I'm out with the boys chilling. Nah, I'm at home watching boxing, studying this stuff. So my coach will tell me something, and I'm referencing it off about 5 other coaches. So I'm definitely a teacher, but I'm teaching myself. Just because I haven't got the credentials of teaching 5, 6 different athletes, but I'm looking at that man in the mirror and I'm teaching myself, definitely, 100%. And that relationship has to be one where the coach wants the athlete to progress as a teacher. Because if not, he's going to suppress him and take away from his natural instincts.
And you said you're the athlete, the boxer going through it, and you spoke about Vladimir Klitschko. Would the Anthony Joshua who beat Vladimir Klitschko have beaten Andy Ruiz? Was that a better fighter that night?
Depends if you caught me with that left hook. That's what it was. And it's a good shot.
But Klitschko caught you with a great shot.
A few good shots. I had more energy. I was a bit drained. But that don't mean I lost, I'm just a bit drained. That don't mean I lost. I'll beat Andy next time. That's why I say we shouldn't look at the past too much, because you're going to be asking me a whole heap of different questions December the 8th.
Sure. I mean, if you look at the scorecards, I mean, one of the judges, and you can say, well, what's the point? But one of the judges gave you 4 of the 6 completed rounds. The other 2 gave you 3 of those rounds. So there's a template. Something was working.
What, with Andy?
Yeah.
I never look at the scorecards because my fights hardly ever go to points, and I just feel like in boxing, you know who won. I could be sitting at home watching it. That's why I actually don't know how to score a fight. because I go to knock him out, and I feel like the public know who wins a fight anyway. So I've never really been into the whole like he gets 4 rounds, he gets. I just feel like the people know who would win, especially when it comes to me, because we're quite dominant in this division, I feel.
So are you saying it came down to that one shot that started?
That was
the
like
end.
the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very difficult to recover from that shot.
Because you won a round after that, so something on instinct was working.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I mean. That was on instinct for sure. So I feel like I just keep on trusting that instinct as well, and that's why I said the relationship with Robert McCracken, etc., has grown. What was the question?
You're talking about how you came back after taking that left hook. You still won.
Oh, I still won. Yeah, I still
one
won
of the
round.
rounds afterwards, working on that kind of instinct, that fighting instinct.
That's what I say. Like Andy Ruiz is good, but I don't think he should beat me twice. That's just my opinion. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. I can still win a round after getting knocked down heavily. That should give me a little bit of confidence going into the next fight. Do you know what I mean?
And I know styles make fights, but can you take anything from what Joseph Parker did to him, who basically made it boring?
With all due respect, Joseph Parker, I don't know. I don't really put him as that.
What I'm pointing up is the one defeat that the man has had.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Joseph Parker didn't make it boring, I don't think. I just think that's his style. I don't think he actually comes to... That's what I say, I don't think Joseph Parker's style, probably that's what I'm trying to say, why I find it boring is because as a fan, I don't think Joseph Parker comes to hurt you. That's the only difference. So he started, like, even when he boxed me, it was just quite like a boxing match. It was difficult to kind of nail him, and people say, oh, you box well, that's the style of boxing we need to see. But yeah, it was hard to engage with him as well. So he'd done that to Andy as well. But moving forward, yeah, took the loss, and I feel like, as you said, give a man a second chance.
So if you nail Andy Ruiz like you did in the 3rd round, what do you do this time?
Nail him again.
But how do you do that without getting caught like you did?
It's just boxing about timing. Just pray to the gods that this time that punch whizzes past you. It's just about timing boxing. About your kinetic chain, your rhythm, your fluidity. Boxing is about milliseconds. Like when I'm sparring or I'm boxing, remember the fight is right here. And he throws a punch, and within that split second, I'm trying to avoid that punch. It's just about timing the game. Sometimes shots hit me that I don't even know where it came from. It's just about timing, and the next time I'm in there, I just feel like I've prepared. That's what I said, coordination, training-wise, muscle memory. I should be fine-tuned.
So you've done a lot more sparring this time?
Yeah, so into a lot more boxing in general. I understand what muscle memory is. That's why I said earlier, is that I could take 5 days off and come back, still be fit. It's because I feel like my boxing muscle fibers are twitching, which is a good place to be. So yeah, I feel like I'm in a good place.
And do you feel like that sparring has made you a better fighter than you were on June the 1st?
Yeah, because I feel like it's...
What has it added?
What's it added? I feel like sparring has really added a different element for preparation for this fight, because last fight, let's say I didn't invest in the sparring that I need. Like, fighters don't want to invest what they earn, because you earn £100, you pay 46% to the tax man, you pay a percent to your trainer, a percent to your management, and before you know it, you're left with about 30%. So when you're out here spending money on physios, food, remember, we don't have a whole, like, no one has given me the team. Everyone has to get paid. So this time around, we've really invested in the right sparring partners, championship sparring partners as well, to say the least. And I feel like that's the type of stuff that gets your kinetic chain, your reactions, and your muscle memory firing. And that's the best thing I could have done. And I've been sparring since the 12th week. I made sure I came into this camp fit. Normally, I would have started sparring. I would probably spar maybe 7 weeks, 6 weeks. But as I said, you know how camps are. There's always issues with fighters. You know, fall out with the girlfriend, bad back, knee goes, got to take a week or two out, your mind's not in it. But as I said, I can take a couple of days off now. I feel like I'm in a good place.
And there's many a great name that's come back and won a title, had to regain a title. How important will this be for your legacy? Whatever you go on to do from here, this one night.
No. It's not about this one night. It's about what I want to make of it. It's not about no one. It's just about me. You know, this is my legacy. No man sitting in his office can dictate what my legacy is, in my opinion. That's my humble opinion. That's what I can honestly say, is that this next fight only means something to me. It don't matter to what the man in the office is thinking, or to the man that's writing about me is thinking. This is just about me. So I just know how tough this game is, and I know how much I've got to give to it. So when it's all said and done, December 7th doesn't end, but when it's all said and done and I hang up my gloves, that's when we can have the debate about legacy. But as for now, this is just a journey.
Would you be happy with your legacy if you never won the title back?
No.
Unfinished
It's hard
business.
for people for where we come from, because it's all about, you know, we come from nothing. It's still tough, but you remember we've got a lot of mouths to feed as well. So it's that side of things, is that we've made a legit income, do you know where I'm coming from, which is a blessing. But then the other side of that is like, money don't make the man, man makes the money. So for me as a man, I don't think I'll be content if I didn't win these titles again. So that as a man means more to me than anything.
How could you describe your mindset going into this rematch, Anthony, compared to June the 1st?
It's like, I used to watch all these YouTube videos in the morning when I used to get up, and it's just funny because they'll be like, a lot of people, when you go through life, you always look back. So I always know, like 20 years from now, God willing, I'm still here, I'll look back and I'll think I was a young man today. But at the time when I'm like 20s, going into my 30s, and I'll be listening to these guys speak, I'm like, you gotta take a loss. You have to know what it feels like. I'll be thinking, man, these people don't know. They ain't like me. They ain't built like me. We ain't here to lose. You know what I mean? So I'll skip past that part. Now, actually, I can understand it and know what it takes. So the mindset now is I have a bit more understanding, and my ears are open to new information, which I feel is only making me smarter as a fighter. That's why when Gareth asked me, are you hungry? I said, no, it's not about being hungry. Anyone can be hungry. Anyone can be dumb and hungry. I'm smarter now. So I'm just making the right moves moving forward.
Do you think he will have grown as a champion in the way that you once told me you did?
Yeah, I feel like you definitely grow. Because his ears are now, and eyes are open to new things.
So you'll take on a better Ruiz?
I don't know. I couldn't actually say. Sometimes I have the answer, but this one I don't. It will see how hungry he is, isn't it, when the going gets tough? Because it's easy to sit here in the comfort of my slippers and joggers talking about it, but when that bell goes and the going gets tough, we'll find out then. At the minute, I couldn't actually answer that question.
Hard to know whether on one side he will have grown, on the other side his hunger will have been diluted by success.
But the good thing is, even like when we say diluted by success, people say, oh, he's out partying and stuff, but then I looked at it and said, well, when that bell goes, trust me, the man's going to come to fight. He's not going to be like, oh, I've been partying, boom, let me just collapse. He's going to come to fight. It's just, it's an instinct, it's muscle memory, it's just built in it. It's built in him, it's built in me. So regardless of lifestyle and stuff like that, unless he's been strung out on drugs and he's not the same person we knew 3 months ago, he's going to come to win. Do you know what I mean? So I'm preparing for the best Ruiz.
Great stuff. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.